Hi everyone! Today we are going to be answering the essential question of how do we find the perimeter of a semicircle? So we've been looking at perimeter. And we know that the perimeter is the outside edge or the sides of a shape. So when I have a square, to find the perimeter, I am going to use all of the sides to add and walk around, okay? Well, sometimes we don't want to walk around the entire shape. Sometimes we just want to walk around the outside, and then we want to cut across. Well, today we're going to look at how do we cut across a circle so that we're only walking the perimeter of a semicircle. So our word today is semicircle. And a semicircle is 1/2 of a full circle. So it is half of a full circle. So let's say that I have a circle and I cut it in half. The part that you would be walking on, or the perimeter that you'll be looking at, is your diameter plus the outside half of the circle. So that is the perimeter that we are looking at. So a semicircle is half of a circle. Okay, so that's what we're looking at today. The way that we are going to solve our semicircle is we're going to use the formula for circumference, but then we're going to cut it in half. And then we're going to have to add on the diameter at the end. So we're going to look at an example that is like this. They give us a semicircle, and this semicircle has a diameter, oh my gosh, just forgot the word, of 6 meters. Okay, our job, we want to know how far do I not only walk on the outside, but also this part. So we're walking on the entire outside of the circle, plus we're cutting across. Now, on a square, we would just add side, 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 and across, right? We would add all those parts. But because our semicircle is curved, we still have to use pi to account for the fact that there are no sides. That is our side. Our side uses pi. So pretend that these are curved. We would still add those, but we would also need to add the one across. So we're going to look at this. And the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to find the circumference. Well, we know circumference is pi times diameter. We're given the diameter, so we're going to use this formula. Well, we're going to say circumference equals 3.14 times 6. So we're going to look at 3.14 times 6. So let's clear this. 3.14 times 6. Okay, that would give us a full circle. Well, we don't have a full circle. So because we have a semicircle, we are going to use semicircle cut in half. So we're going to use the full circumference, but we're going to cut it in half. So we have 18.84, and then we need to cut it in half. So we have that divided by 2, and that gives us 9.42. So to walk from this place all the way around over to here, that pink line right there, is 9.42 meters. So I haven't walked my whole circle. I still need to walk across. Meters. I still need to walk across the center. So to walk across the center, I need to add in these meters here. So now I'm going to take and add in the diameter, because I'm walking not only the pink part, but also this orange part. So 9.42 plus 6 meters for a grand total of 15 point, I guess we could go like this, plus 6, and that gives us 15 42 hundredths of a meter. So we're taking the pink part plus the orange part, and now we've walked the entire semicircle. Okay? All right, let's do another example so that you can see this in action a little bit more. Wish they gave you more examples to use. All right, let's say that I have example B. And in example B, I have another semicircle. And my circle looks like this. And it is 5 centimeters across the middle. I want to know what is the perimeter of the whole thing. So our job is to first find the circumference of a whole circle. Okay, so we're going to look at the circumference of the whole circle. Pi times diameter. And then we're going to cut the whole thing in half. And then after that, we're going to add on diameter. Okay, this is your formula that we are using. All right, so first, let's start with pi and the diameter. Okay, so the first part of our circle we want to find is this outer edge. Okay, we want to find the curve. So to find the curve, we're going to use this part. We're going to take pi times diameter, which is 5, and then cut it in 2. So 5 times 3.14, 5 times 3.14 gives us 15.7. We're going to then cut that in half. So 15.7 divided by 2. Okay, that gives us 7.85 centimeters. Okay, this is the pink part. Now we need to find this part to get the entire perimeter. So we're going to take this and we are going to add 5. So add 5 more centimeters for that part. So we're going to add 5 plus 5, and that gives us 12.85. So the whole semicircle walking from here, the whole orange, all the pink, gives us 12.85 centimeters. The whole semicircle. Okay, but what if our circle gives us radius? Okay, this is all fine and dandy if we're given the diameter, right? That's great. But what if they give us half of a semicircle? Like, what if they only tell us what half of the semicircle is? So let's look at example C, and we're going to talk about what happens when you're given the radius. All right, so we're given a semicircle again, and it looks like this. But they don't tell us the diameter. Instead, they tell us that the radius is 5 yards. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing that we did before, except to find when we're given the radius, we have to multiply it by 2 so that we're given both sides of the circle. Okay, we want a diameter. So if half of it is 5, the other half is 5, we add that together, we get 10. So we're going to look at this. We're going to say semicircle, our circumference equals 2 pi times r. We're then going to divide all of that by half, and then we're going to add it to the diameter. So we need to know what our diameter is, and we know that by multiplying r by 2. Okay, so we're going to say 2 times r times pi, 2 times 5 times 3.14 divided by 2. Okay, that is a lot of numbers. 2 times 5. That gives us diameter. So diameter is 10. We know that 5 plus 5 is 10. If I were to continue this line and finish out the other side of the circle, 5 and 5 gives me 10. So this area right here that is 10 yards. Okay, so we can just double that. That's 10 yards. So my diameter here is 10. Now I'm going to multiply that 10 by 3.14. That gives me 31.4. Divide it in half. And that gives me 15.7. So the top half of my circle is 15.7. So walking along here is 15.7. But I still have my 10 yards, right? I still have 10 yards to walk. So I'm going to take my orange, start at 1, and I need to add on 10. So I've got my pink plus my orange, and that gives me 15 plus 10 is 25, no, not times, 25.7. So total yards is 25.7 yards. Okay, let's do another one of these same problems. Okay, go ahead and hit pause if you need to finish writing this. I'm going to go on to the next page. Okay, our next example uses another radius example just so that we have it. And D, example D. Oh, you can't see. All right. Okay, we have a semicircle. And this time the radius is 3 inches. Okay, we have 3 inches. We want to know what is the perimeter of the whole thing, or the circumference of a semicircle. So I'm going to start with 2 times pi times the radius, because I'm given the radius. Then I have to cut it all in half. So I have 2 times 3.14 times 3. And again, I need to cut it all in half. All right. So let's start there to find the circumference of a whole circle. 2 times 3.14 times 3. 18.84. Then we're going to cut it in half, divided by 2. That gives us 9.42. Okay, our job now is to look at, this is that pink part of the circle. Now we need to look at what is our radius. How does our radius become our diameter? So this half right here is 3. This is 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. So we're going to add 6 to this. So 9.42 plus 6, and that gives us 15.42. Okay, so 15.42 inches. There you go. You've found what it is to walk around not only the outside of your circle, but also straight across the inside. All right, it is your turn now to do some try-its. We're going to do 2 try-its for you. And try-it number 1. Try-it number 1 has a semicircle, and this semicircle has a diameter of 2 feet. And then try-it number 2. Let's move this up. Get rid of my calculator here. Try-it number 2 has a radius of 15 inches. Okay, so half of it is 15 inches. All right, go ahead and hit pause right now so you don't hear me solving, and then when you're ready, come on back. All right, so first we need to find the outside of our circle. Okay, so we're going to find the outside of the circle. Pi times diameter, because I have diameter, and then we need to cut it in half. So 3.14 times 2 divided by 2. So 3.14 times 2, and then cut it in half, and that gives me 3.14. Oh my gosh, we got pi. How did we get pi? Okay, plus I need to add on this bottom part here. I need to add that on, so we're going to add 2, and that gives us 5.14 feet. There we go. So the walk around is about 5.14 feet. All right, and our last try it gives you a radius of 15. So we know 2 times pi times the radius divided by 2. So when I'm looking at this one, the outside of my circle is going to be 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which is 15, and then we want to cut it in half. So plug it into my calculator here. We have 2 times 3.14 times 15 equals 94.2. Cut in half, divided by 2, and we get 47.1. So that is the top of the circle, plus we need the diameter. So we have to add on the diameter, so plus 30. So we need to add 30 because 15 and 15, the whole thing is 30 inches. Oops. 30 inches. From there to there is 30 inches. So plus 30. And that gives me 77.1 inches. All right, how did you do? Go ahead and answer your essential question. How do we find the circumference of a semicircle? And then, or the perimeter of a semicircle. Put your rating or your level of understanding out to the side right now. Where are you at? And then you may head on back to the Google Meet if you need some help, or you can go and do your practice work. As always, I appreciate all of your hard work and effort, and make it a great day.